The first to bring you the hottest DJ gear on the planet. You're watching coverage of Winter NAMM 2012. We are agiprodj.com.
Hey everybody, DJ Ty here from agiprodj.com. We're here in the Arturia booth at NAMM 2012.
Okay, so my name is Mike Acosta here at the 2012 Winter NAMM show and here at the Arturia booth, and we are showing three very cool products. We are showing Spark, the new version 1.4. We are showing Arturia's first analog hardware synthesizer, again 100% all analog signal path, and we are also showing the Oberheim SEM-V, which is a faithful emulation of the original Oberheim SEM synthesizer expander module. The first one up is Spark with the new version 1.4, and I'm just going to start building a little pattern on it so you can see how simple it is to use. With Spark, you have the best of both worlds in that you have software, which is the heart and soul of pretty much everything that's happening with Spark, the audio engine, the samples, everything else that's going on. But then you also have a dedicated tactile hardware control surface that allows you to manipulate your sounds and program in real time. Now, what I mean is I can do the best of both worlds is that I have step sequencer at the top, so I can input my notes just like an original, like old school TR drum machine, or I can also do a combination of real-time recording, and I can just simply hit the record button. Then if I want to do some step input, then I can choose the instrument that I want. So say if I want this, choose this instrument here, then we can just come in and just step those in, press a couple of buttons. Then if I want, I can even change the feel in real time by using the shuffle knob. We can change the shuffle amount. Bring it back down a little bit. Bring some more instruments in. Then if I want, I can improvise with other samples on top of this if I want. And again, because Spark uses three sources for its audio, it uses virtual analog synthesis, it uses physical modeling, and it also uses samples, of course. So I can play some stuff on top of this. I want to record it. Then I can start manipulating this pattern in real time. What the cool thing with the loop mode on here is I can loop a particular section, and then what it allows me to do is that I can change the division of the loop, and then I can actually use the move knob and I can actually surf through the pattern in real time. So I'm basically surfing through each different step within the pattern. So if you trigger this the right way, you can kind of get like a DJ kind of feel where you're kind of beat juggling back and forth. So you can do things like this. Filter, because you have a very cool XY pad on here for real-time effects manipulation. We can take the filter. And I can pull this down. If I want, I can even latch the filter and hold it right there. So if I want to go and play other stuff on top of it, I can go. Can roll it. Bring it back out. We have a cool roller feature. Break it to another pattern. Use the loop mode again. We can go back to our slicer. Then I can do some other things like where I can do some pitch drops. juggle again. Go back to our filter section. Go with another pattern. Then I can go back here and then even do the turntable thing, slow it down. So you can do some really cool turntable style effects. You can build patterns right on the fly. You can improvise with your samples and stuff right over it in real time. And that's the cool thing with Spark, is that pretty much every aspect of the software can be controlled right from the control surface here. I don't have to be on the laptop pressing my buttons here or moving the mouse around. I can get access to any of the screens, and as you can see over here on the software, on the right side, if I want to take a look at my pattern screen, so there's the pattern that I just built, I can take a look at this, I can edit notes, do anything that I want, I can change the feel around. I can also take a look at my preferences for the software. If I need to change anything in real time, I can do that as well. I also have access to, of course, the editing screen, and right here's where I can take a look at all my different samples that are loaded up. I can edit them in real time. I can even choose different ones, and here's the thing that's very unique about Spark as opposed to a lot of other competition that's out there. Like I said before, Spark uses a combination of analog synthesis, it uses physical modeling, which is very unique, and of course samples, and you can also import your own samples, WAV or AIF, to any selection you want. And if you can see here, if I can go into analog, I can look at all my analog kick drums, I can look at physically modeled kick drums, and then of course you have your sample library that you can choose from. So this gives you a really nice wide palette of sounds that you can use to basically customize and create your own drum sounds. Now navigation through Spark is really cool too. You have a nice jog wheel here, so you can see that it's pretty much just like using an Apple iOS device. So if you're used to looking on your iPhone or on your iPod and you're kind of looking through pictures, or you're looking through your iTunes music library, this is pretty much the same kind of concept. You know, you can take a look at the picture and you know exactly what the drum kit is that you're going to load. And so this is really cool. I can go and as you can see, you have a lot of classic vintage drum machines that are in here that have been emulated, along with great modern sounds that are using samples with physical modeling and virtual analog synthesis. And it's very easy to load any of these sounds at any time that you want. You also have some other really cool things. So let's see, we can use the jog wheel to change kits. I can hold this down again and I can simply just change particular instruments. So if I was on kick drums and all I wanted to look for was kick drums, then as I'm scrolling through here, it's going to basically choose just the kick drums from all of these different drum kits and load it to that one slot. So if I wanted to load something from, let's say, like an old 707, you take something like this and press in on the jog wheel, and now we have just a simple, old 707 drum kit loaded up. What's really cool is that there's some new effects that have been added with version 1.4. So you can see that if I go in here and I want to take this simple drum, this kick drum, and let's say I want to add some really low end to it, then we can go in here and use what's called the sub generator. And then I can simply switch this to a sub oscillator, and we can just simply tune this and then adjust the release on this. So again, we took just a simple acoustic drum kick and we took a sub generator, added it on there, and just make some adjustments to the release, and now you got like an 808-ish type of drum with a different pop on the front end. So these are just some of the effects enhancements that have been added with version 1.4. Version 1.4 is free. It's a download that is available on the Arturia site for all Spark users. You get 50 additional drum kits that have been added to the already massive factory drum library that it comes with, so it literally gives you over 1,300 sounds that you can use right offhand. Again, it's a combination of virtual synthesis, physical modeling, and samples, so the footprint that it's going to take on your MacBook or on your computer system is very small. It's not all sample-based, so you don't have to have 20-30 gigs of hard drive space available to install it, so very small footprint. Again, we have access to all the front panel control features right from here. And as you can see in the effects section here, I know you guys saw me doing a lot of things with the different effects. You have a filter, and as you can see here, when I'm running my finger there, it actually lets you know exactly where you are, so it has a nice user interface there to let you know what you're doing. And in the screen here is where you can see all the different effects that you have under that filter. So if you press filter multiple times, you can switch between the low pass, band pass, and the high pass. And then if you bump over to the slicer effect, then you can see that you also have time divisions that are already mapped out. So that's how I was able to do 16th note triplets and things like that is you're able to see exactly what you're going to trigger. So as long as you're hitting it right on the one with your pattern, then you can make sure, it'll definitely make sure that your effect is right in time with whatever it is that you're trying to do. You also have repeat, you have the tape effect, so I was getting those pitch and vinyl emulations and stuff. You also have a very cool reverse effect, you have a strobe effect, panning, and you even have bit crushing to where you can basically take your pattern and then crush it all the way down to 2 bits. So you get some really nice distortion and harmonics going on there. Some of the other things, you also have the roll function. So you saw where I was improvising with some of the samples here. You can pretty much improvise on top of your patterns and record this stuff in real time. And you also have a dedicated song mode. So when you want to do a song, you can basically chain all your patterns. You have 4 banks, and in each bank you can have 16 patterns, and this is your complete song screen, so that you can basically have all your songs laid up here, and then everything that you're doing with the effects in the XY pad can be recorded into a song. As you can see, we are running Spark as a standalone, but it also runs as a plugin, so you can run this inside of any of your favorite DAWs as a VST plugin, an Audio Units plugin, or RTAS within Pro Tools. If you already have a song and patterns that have been done in Spark, you can easily open this up as a plugin within your favorite DAW, and you can basically take the MIDI clips of your patterns and drop it right into a track. You can also export anything that you've done as a WAV file and drop that into a track as well, so you have the best of both worlds. Or you simply open it up and you can simply use it as a sound module and then record all your pattern information inside the DAW on a MIDI track. So lots of different things that you can do with Spark.